The adult initiation ceremony in Brona, Africa, is incredibly painful, but it's a rite of passage. Every man who goes through it gets helped home afterward. The Kandingo tribe from northern New Guinea believes they're descendants of crocodiles. They still wear ancient crocodile tattoos. When explorers first discovered them, they thought it was just some ancient custom. But as they learned more, they found these tattoos are part of a male initiation ceremony. Young men are first struck with sticks. Then using knives or shells, they carve patterns into their backs. The wounds are treated with palm oil, and thick clay is applied to stop the healing process. Once the scars form, they look like crocodile skin. This marks their transition from boys to men. The entire ceremony is done without any painkillers. They endure the process to prove their strength and manhood. A group of men are about to go through this tough ritual. They'll allow themselves to be marked hundreds of times with blades. They'll push through, even if it makes them tremble with pain. They'll grit their teeth and see it through once it starts. There's no turning back for them. This is the first step toward becoming a true man. If it were you, would you go through this to truly become a man? This is the Sepik River in Papua New Guinea. A group of initiates is entering the final phase. It's a long and challenging ritual. They'll be kept in a small hut called the neighbor house for 6 weeks, during which they'll learn tribal traditions and culture. There's no age limit for the ceremony, and it only takes place about once every 5 years. Ages range from 11 to 30 plus until the ceremony's complete. No one is considered a man. Fidelis is 22, and this time he's finally ready to take part. He's completely separated from his family and friends, except for his mentor. His mentor is his uncle Kandale, and the elders share their secret knowledge with the initiates when they finish their training and leave the hut. The whole village will witness. The changes in these initiates, Fidelis and the others, will mark their bodies in some way. Most will leave scars that resemble crocodile skin. They believe crocodiles are their ancestors. These scars show everyone they are the crocodile people. Many cultures associate animals with qualities they admire, like speed or strength. They try to gain these traits through food or body modifications. For the Sepik people, they believe these scars will give them the strength of a crocodile. If the young man can bear the paint, he'll be strong enough to take on adult responsibilities. But Dixon, one of the initiates, knows this power comes at a cost. Someone from the last group didn't make it, and that scares him. After 6 weeks, the initiates finally leave the men's house. Their mothers, aunts, and sisters, who've been anxiously waiting, embrace them tightly, letting go of all their worries. They've been waiting for weeks and hadn't heard anything from inside the men's house. No one outside knew what had been happening while the men were in there. Their families' worry grew every day. They were scared for their health, worried they were suffering, and especially afraid something could go wrong during the ceremony. But even with all that fear, the families kept supporting them, quietly encouraging them to push through. The whole village was watching, including the youngest boys, who knew they'd face the same challenge someday. Now the men are back in the men's house, waiting for the upcoming trials. The night before the ceremony, they prepare to face the pain ahead. The first test? They'll spend the whole night in freezing river water to numb their skin and reduce the pain for the ceremony. As the sun rises, the risks in the water grow because they could encounter the very animals they've been trying to imitate. After 6 long weeks, the men are finally ready. They're prepared and ready to go. They're not scared of what's coming next. The intense ritual is about to begin. Normally, outsiders aren't allowed, but this time the tribe agreed to let it be filmed. As the cutters swing their knives, the elders hold the initiates down, guiding them from one life stage to the next. It's the elders' job to help the boys transition. The men chew leaves that have an alcohol effect, but there are no painkillers to ease their suffering. The chest markings are smaller, so they're done quickly, but the back is where the real pain starts. That part is moved to the yard with 2 helpers, one to hold the initiate, and one to make the cuts. To outsiders, this might seem unsettling, but the tribe sees these scars as art. The bigger the scars, the better, especially the chest scars, which have to be cut along the nipple line. The deeper the cut, the more impressive the scar. The cutters work tirelessly, cutting deep into the initiate's skin, while the men endure immense pain, facing a long, excruciating day. The blood might shock some people, but it's a crucial part of the ceremony. The Sepik people believe their blood comes from their mother. By shedding it, They rid themselves of childish thoughts and complete their transformation into men. Fidel's was in intense pain, but his uncle knew pain was key to his growth. To become a man, he had to feel it, because it would stay with him and help him face future challenges in a world where no one reads or writes. Everything's understood and passed down by experience. It's like engraving what matters. Fidel's could only focus on the burning pain. Nothing else crossed his mind. Or the Sepik. People showing pain is a sign of weakness. They believe, if you show pain from a wound, it means your will isn't strong and your faith could be fragile. Such weakness can't be shown in the hut or in front of family. The boy's name is Salves. He's only 11, but he's eager to be a man. He's pushing through the agony of the cut even with the pain he held on. Just when he thought he couldn't go any further, it ended exhausted both physically and mentally. He was carried inside to rest. His wounds were treated, but the touch of feathers made him uneasy. His body was on the brink. The cutting might be over, but the danger wasn't. The wounds were deep and exposed to air. There was a real risk of infection. They did what they could to control it. Clay and tree oil help prevent swelling. The smoke irritates the wounds, but it helps them heal and makes them more noticeable later, in the coming days. These men cleaned their wounds in the river. This process turns their wounds into sacred crocodile marks. They went to the river daily to clean, for about a week, carefully tending to the open cuts. The cold water brought fresh pain. If they don't clean them, the wounds will turn into thick scars and won't give the right effect. But cleaning has its risks. The river water might bring bacteria and cause deadly infections. Day by day, their bodies healed and grew stronger. Their spirits healed too. They were ready to return to society because now they were true men. Today, they were going to show what they'd earned. Every man must wear traditional clothes and paint their faces with their tribe's totems. That's how they show their true manhood. Finally, these brave men were led out of the hut as survivors ready for the village's inspection. Now they're taking on new roles as leaders. It's like a rebirth. Their scars are badges of honor, proof they can start families. For women, it's a temptation. They see these men as potential husbands. If a young girl sees a young man coming out of the hut, she'll watch him closely and maybe even take an interest. The coming-of-age ceremony means everything. These new men not only completed this powerful journey, but also connected deeply to their history. They felt the pain and learned from it. They followed their ancestors' path, and for their culture, they had to go through the pain so they could face anything life throws their way. This is just the beginning. Every tribe has its own rituals and challenges, shaping their people and testing their courage. Up next, we'll dive into another tribe and witness their unique traditions. Tribe is an ancient group, living deep in Africa's tropical rainforests. Every man in the tribe wears a gourd tube about 40 centimeters long. But these gourds aren't just for protection against other tribes, they're also the tribe's only form of birth control. The tribe's chief wears an impressive 48 centimeters long gourd tube. The bigger the gourd tube, the more attractive a man is to women. The men of the elephant trunk tribe are incredibly strong. They grow fast from the moment they're born. They start wearing gourd tubes as children. It's a symbol of their status and a sign of their unique charm. The constant hormone boost makes their bodies develop faster than normal. Different body types mean different shaped gourds. Some men wear curved tubes while others wear straight ones. These tubes even affect the kind of women they attract. The gourd tube is the tribe's most distinctive feature. It not only protects them but also serves as a tool for hunting wild pigs and other large animals. They eat the meat and blood of wild pigs for energy and protein after feasting. They feel so energized that they can stay awake for days without getting tired. The thick gourd tubes pierce through their prey with incredible force, which also makes them more appealing to women from other tribes. That's why they're known as the gourd tribe. Without modern medicine, the gourd tube is the only method of contraception for the men. The tubes are made from a highly sticky gourd, which grows in abundance. Every spring, the men plant gourds, and in the summer they harvest them and replace their old tubes. Some even grow gourds on their rooftops. They stick to traditional ways of life, picking the best gourds, roasting them in the fire. This process sterilizes the gourd and strengthens its outer shell, though the tubes can sometimes cut into their skin. The men don't mind at all. They wear their gourd tubes all day without ever taking them off. They eat the flesh of the gourd peel off its skin and polish it by hand until it's smooth, white, and soft. The elephant trunk tribe men are very clean. They don't let anyone else wear their tubes, so they carve their names into them. The chief wears a 50-centimeter long tube, and it's the only one of its kind in the tribe. Anyone with a tube smaller than 30 centimeters is immediately exiled. The man who wears the longest gourd tube becomes the tribe's chief. Every year there's a competition to see who can wear the longest gourd tube, and the winner is crowned leader. The men of the elephant trunk tribe are naturally strong. Even other tribes are afraid to challenge them. Women from other tribes are drawn to them, and many choose to join the elephant trunk tribe, so this is one reason why the tribe has thrived for so long. Whenever a baby is born, the father prepares a gourd tube for them as part of a long-standing tradition. The tribe doesn't wear modern clothes, but the gourd tube plays a vital role in protecting them. Both men and women in the tribe love wearing these beautiful gourds. Every year, more women join the tribe, attracted by the high status of the men, who can have multiple wives. The chief has 7 wives and 18 children. Life in the tribe is simple. It's all about food, family, and romance. They don't care about anything else. Even without modern clothes, they are truly happy and carefree, as long as they have their gourd tubes. They enjoy endless joy. Would you want a gourd tube like this? Would you want to be part of a tribe like this? If you want to discover more amazing stories, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.